Mary Rose Hoya here from Expert Profit Engine, helping business owners and business leaders build commercial success. And that means closing bigger, better deals. So today I want to talk about the danger of processes when you are innovating. So let's take a look at the word innovating and innovation. Now, I think that the word innovation is actually massively overused to the point where you start to wonder what it actually means. In my world, it means just simply making something better. We talk a lot about making things better in Expert Profit Engine world, and that means often inserting processes and systems for business success. That said, I think it's really important not to stop people from thinking. Overuse of processes can actually make innovation flat and act as a brake or an obstacle to making things better, faster, or cheaper, and in turn leading you closer to business success. And you are wanting growth to accelerate innovation, but you don't want people to stop thinking. And I was reminded of this recently when my daughter was in a volleyball tournament, and she was given the packing list for it, and the packing list forgot to include a towel. So she forgot to bring one. Now, she's an extremely thinking person who is typically very organized, and if she hadn't been given a list, she would have made her own one, thinking through the processes and routines surrounding a trip like that. And she would have remembered to pack a towel. But having that list caused her to stop thinking. And that's exactly what lists, processes, and scripts can do. They stop people from thinking. Now, while it's important to have guidelines in place, they should be looked at as rough tools that must be used judiciously and with prudence on a case-by-case basis, like the law. Now, when it comes to your products, your programs, and your services, having processes in place is essential for your business because you just cannot scale or leverage without them. But the thing that's going to keep you abreast of the competition and give the constant growth and doing things better is that you use these processes as more of a framework to function while allowing your creativity to remain active. So with your team, with yourself as a leader and business owner, you need to keep yourself in an agile way of thinking and always be thinking about what you can tweak, what can you make better. Now, it's fantastic to have processes so that you're not reinventing the wheel each time you face a particular task or undertaking, but these systems should really only cover 80 to 90%. That 10 to 20% above that is where the beauty, the distinctiveness of your business comes from. And that's often where customer service, customer experience, and excellent relationship-based sales and the after-sales piece, super important, comes in. Now, without processes and systems that are critical for creating a framework, you'll have anarchy. You need them. But they must not be followed religiously, as you need to enable the freedom to move. And it's within that freedom where the people who are very ambitious will be able to shine. And it's incredibly important to actively encourage people to think for themselves, or your business will not grow and you will stifle your stars. And that is why it's so essential that you don't operate completely in a vacuum as well. You want to ensure that your business has very active customer contacts, that you have active training of your people, active training of yourself and mentorship, that you exercise, that you take active relaxation and off time. And that gives a chance for things to mature, to process what's happening in your life and in your business. And so talking to people, or when you're resting, to spending time on your own, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, that's when the energy comes back. And it's in inserting this room to think that the power of slowing down, in essence, also comes into play. And I really see that the longer I do this, the higher quality of clients that come in. A big piece of this is the success is coming when you slow down. And I was reminded of this a little while ago when someone said, when I was running down a corridor on the way to work before I hit upon the Expert Profit Engine method, that someone said, look, 35-year-olds get a heart attack too. And it's true, because you're running so fast, you just don't see that you're putting out a fire which doesn't need to be there. You don't need to run for success in this way. Your success will come faster when you slow down. And right now, I really feel that in our business, we're generating way more revenue, we're having bigger billings, we're having far more impact. I'm happier, the people around me are happier, and it's when you slow down that you realize how fast you're going. And so you need to have that space for creativity and ingenuity, and that is imperative for your business to flourish. So look, if this resonates with you, I invite you to visit expertprofitengine.com, download our free guide. We have a couple of really cool points in there that are right on what we're talking about today, and I will talk to you soon.